We will start our analysis with an external environment in which Netflix belongs to. Then, by performing an analysis to understand their internal resources as well as their core competencies, that allows them to stand out in that particular environment. For the external environment analysis, we applied the 3 levels we learned in class: general level, industry level, and competitor level. On the general level, we performed the past analysis, and the key highlights are: first, how the political environment constrains online streaming business due to their specific in-country regulations. But on the other hand, it's interesting to see how Netflix has impacted the social-cultural aspect, given how much their services change people's entertainment behavior. Now moving on to the industry level analysis, we applied the 5 forces, and in sum, all the 5 forces seems to be more on the negative note than the positive note, pulling from all sides, but especially supplier power, given the dependency on their content to compose portfolio available to customers. On the 3rd level analysis, the competitor level, it's important to acknowledge that Netflix competes with any entertainment company that would take their customers' free time to do something else. But on the direct aspect, the competition became more fierce in the past few years with the rise of companies such as Amazon Prime, Hulu, and HBO Now. Now, looking at Netflix's internal analysis, it's straightforward to see that their main resources are intangible, such as technology and brand. As for their core competencies, one can argue that their subscription business model disrupted the industry is a core competency. But actually, since it has been imitated in the recent past, it was proven to be a temporary competitive advantage. The core competencies we believe Netflix has lies on 2 aspects of customer-centric approach. First, the technology aspect, with their content delivery based on recommendation algorithms, which is rare and very costly to imitate. Then, their original creation content, but especially the country-specific ones, bringing a lot of value to customers and very costly to imitate. Most of the direct competitors have originals, but not yet country-specific.
From a business strategy level, it is a series of actions that help capitalize on the firm's core competencies with a focus on satisfying customer needs to drive returns.
Netflix adopted broadcast leaders' approach in their early formative period by offering free add-on streaming services to promote the new technology which is value added to the customers. As their business matured and popularity soared to over 60 million subscribers in their home country today, Netflix capitalized and continued to evolve their unique core competencies in technology, client experience, product differences, which enable them to stay ahead of the competitors in the industry that has a broad competitive scope. Supported by other value chain activities such as cash flow advantage of stable subscription fee collection, effective digital marketing, Netflix switched its business model to broad differentiation approach, which gives the business less depending on cost sensitivity while continue to capture the market and drive returns.
In the last 2 decades since its establishment, Netflix has undergone significant expansion both in terms of its product and vertical scopes, evolving from just being a content delivery system to a full-fledged entertainment business. Product-wise, Netflix first made a blue ocean strategic move in 2007 to diversify its product offerings from DVD rental to online video streaming services. Netflix entered this relatively uncontested market in 2007 at the right time when postage rates were getting more expensive and internet was becoming faster and cheaper. Today, Netflix streaming service has outperformed its DVD business to be the key value-generating stream of business for the firm. As the streaming industry became increasingly saturated, Netflix started moving up the value chain in 2012 to create original content. This backwards integration allowed Netflix to synergize its core competency of having a deep understanding of its viewers based on big data analysis to produce tailored programs that caters to their customers' needs. While the cost of content production is still very high, Netflix's core competency also helped the firm allocate its budget and resources more efficiently. Having a strong library of original content exclusive to Netflix also helped build brand loyalty and increase the switching costs for consumers. More recently, with Netflix acquiring film production facility ABQ Studio and reported plans to acquire its first movie theater, we see that the firm is also making moves towards full integration to become a full-fledged entertainment business.
Moving on to international strategy. Netflix was founded in 1997. However, it only made its first step overseas in 2010 to its neighboring country, Canada. We'll take a look at Netflix's global expansion, chronologically, as well as its international strategy. In just 7 years after entering Canada, Netflix expanded its streaming services into over 190 countries. The only countries that Netflix isn't available are just 3 countries, and that's only because of US government restrictions. Netflix service is not yet completely available in China, but it is on its way and does have a licensing deal with another streaming service there. Despite having its streaming services all over the world, it had only set up physical office in 13 other countries. We agree that Netflix's decision to internationalize was a good one, as they are unable to increase their profit margin within the US without reducing their production costs, which in turn would affect the quality and quantity of their original content, which is one of its own core competency. The only way was to grow the number of subscribers and also to use their current US content for new customers and maximize its profits. Back then, as Netflix needed to increase its customer base, we deduced that its strategic goal was then to be market-seeking. In our paper, we looked at Netflix's expansion timeline and its order of countries, then analysed it against Gamowatt's cage distance framework and country portfolio analysis. Netflix has also shown to have overcome cage distance with other countries, like closing the cultural distance gap with adapted catalogs, content, subtitles, and dubbing in the host language. They also closed economic distance with its core competency in technology to make sure that its streaming is efficient with little data usage and without the need for high-speed broadband internet, which overcomes the economic distance that poorer countries without the infrastructure would not be able to afford. Netflix entered most of this country as an offshore provider with no retail store or employees, and most commonly, it entered through licensing agreements with major motion picture studios and the local mobile telecommunications and cable operators. Now that they are in almost every country, Netflix has also been focused on building its core competency of providing original content with in-house production in the international markets on a smaller scale. This changed its strategic goal from being market-seeking to being efficiency-seeking, which explains the presence of Netflix physical offices in just 13 other countries out of its usual licensing agreements that are not sufficient, as Netflix would need physical resources as skilled labor office space for a location advantage. We found that Netflix adopts a transnational strategy, and we find that this is suitable for Netflix as a company. Going international was a good strategic move on Netflix's part on many levels, and adapting the content was instrumental in achieving the current worldwide market share. If Netflix can improve on its profits margins and still churn solid original content, it will go a long way in surpassing its competitors.
So there you have it, that's our analysis, and moving on, we have some recommendations.
Netflix have done right in many ways in their strategies making over the years, and we would recommend them to continue to do more in the areas such as improving their upstream and downstream connectivity, transferring skill set from streaming to gaming services, attempting new viewing experience by allowing audience to choose the story development in TV series, branching out to kids channel free of charge to cultivate brand loyalties from young age. In addition to that, one new suggestion that Netflix could consider is to provide sports channel, which is ever popular, especially with male audience group who are willing to spend. More importantly, as Netflix continue growing its business, they need to look into their profit margin and get their health screening check to ensure expansion is meaningful and not overly leveraged.